Kilkenny players in their side, James Brennan and the formidable Eamon Morrissey.
Dublin was the one I worried about. I mean, when you're playing the Kilkennys and the Offaly's and the Corks and the Limericks and the Galways, they're one of the top teams in the country, and you have something to aim at because they've had success. Like, whereas Dublin were like ourselves in the sense that they were struggling all the time, and it's very hard to rise. We found it harder to rise our game for Dublin. That was the one I really worried about.
Knocked down by Eamon Scallon to Tom Dempsey in rushing. Gary Laffin for Wexford. Tight angle, but he's put it over the bar. That's confidence from Gary Laffin.
Wexford started well, 5 points to 1 up, when Eamon Morrissey had a chance from the penalty for his first Dublin score.
Morrissey doesn't lift it, but he gets in a cut off the ground and it's gone into the net.
1 point between them, but Wexford pulled away again with 2 goals in a 3-minute spell.
Liam Dunn leaves it to Martin Storey. Plays it down the line. Initially it was meant for Tom Dempsey. It comes here to Gary Laffin. Another score chance on. Yes, a goal. A goal for Wexford by Gary Laffin. Eamon Burke is facing his opposite number, Damien Fitzhenry. The goalkeeper, who sometimes plays out the field, has got the goal. It's sometimes a long, lonely run when they're missed, but when they're scored, you love every yard of it and you run and sprint much faster.
Wexford led by 9 points at half-time, but Dublin responded. John Toomey was on song with his frees, and then a James Brennan point narrowed the gap further.
10 minutes to go at Croke Park between Dublin and Wexford. 5 points in it. Wexford's game has really fallen apart in the second half. You just wonder what would happen if Dublin could work a goal. Kevin Flynn had first one on that for Dublin. Fell eventually to James Brennan, who goes for the point and gets it. That's a lovely score.
Wexford did recover their poise and won the match by 6 points, but it was a far from convincing display, so definitely no complacency in their camp before the Leinster final.
We were after being criticised so much after the Dublin match, and we knew ourselves we were trying to change our style and keep the ball moving fast the whole time and play low ball into the forwards and keep it spread out, and in the second half against Dublin we just, our discipline wasn't there and it didn't work for us, and that was a disappointing aspect of that game, but it worked in our favour in the end, really.
I think I'm right in saying you are not happy with your defeat of Dublin.
No, I was very happy. In fact, this worked to our favour again. I think this was destiny at the end of the day. Or else with God on our side, which I think is both the same thing, really. In the first half against Dublin, we played some wonderful hurling, absolutely wonderful hurling. And I said to one of my selectors halfway through the game, we said we're playing out of our skin. Now we played badly in the second half, and the papers gave us an absolutely rubbish review. And I was delighted with that, because the papers ignored the first half. Had the game been flipped over, they would have given us rave reviews. So we got away with a nice victory, and we got away with it nice and quietly.
So, Wexford had booked their place in the Leinster final. The other Leinster semi-final was contested between reigning champions Offaly and Laois. A very convincing display by Offaly as they put 4 goals, 17 points past Laois, although their second goal was a gift from an unfortunate Laois defender.
And this is a ball that Ricky Cashin will have to reach. He does very well and he loses out. Saved on the line, and John O'Sullivan! How could you, John O'Sullivan? Heartbreaking moment for the county of Laois.
John Troy had a great game, getting good points and outstanding goals.
John Troy. Good effort, which goes straight over the bar. Great point by John Troy. Nice skill by everything. Creating problems here. Putting it across. Well blocked down. Chance here, blocked again. There's danger here. Ricky Cashin has to come out to scoop it in, and it's a goal. John Troy. The goal that Offaly sought. And Rigney didn't connect. Declan Pilkington does. There's a goal here. John Troy take it out. Thank you very much, John Troy.
So it was to be a Wexford-Offaly final, and nobody was really giving Wexford too much of a chance. Even their own supporters were only slightly optimistic. On Wexford's home training pitch, however, manager Liam Griffin had put his players through 150 sessions of tough training. The Wexford players' minds were set, and the disappointments of other years had to be forgotten.
I mean, the Offaly game was a major for us. I mean, this was the big psychological quantum leap. But don't forget, we'd worked on our small victories. We'd beaten Offaly and Burr in the Walsh Cup in February. We beat them in the National League quarter-final in Thurles in March or whatever, April. So, like, our lads, while they were worrying, they still felt quite confident. And we put together a splendid performance and beat them.
We were going up to the Leinster final and we were all on the bus, like, and we were having the usual sort of bit of a banter and a laugh and a crack and all, and the bus stopped. So Liam got us all off the bus and he says, "Now lads," he says, like, Liam is a great man to motivate you and build you up and get your mind working, like, so this was part of his plan for the Leinster final. He says, "Now lads," he says, "we're going to walk out of Wexford into Wicklow, and the next time we come back in we're going to be Leinster champions." And he says, "We'll come back in as heroes," and I mean, we did.
So you walked across the bridge?
We walked out across and we just said that we'd give each other a promise going out that we would come back in as Leinster champions. And we did.
John Troy. Sending it in, a dangerous ball. Damien Fitzhenry! Goal for Offaly. The ball is in the net. The referee is telling the umpire the green flag has been raised. And Billy Dooley gets credit for the goal. Some holding there by Offaly. Martin Hannamy gets it out a small bit as far as Hubert Rigney and Brian Wheelahan. That's a good ball. Jerkush comes forward, knocks it away, only for Joe Dooley to get there first. Beside him, Liam Dunn. Difficult angle for Joe. No, not difficult for Joe.
Excellent Joe Dooley point. He's on his game here today, but Wexford will have to be far tighter in the half-back line. They're letting the half-forward line far too much space and latitude around the field.
A very fine point by Joe Dooley. Well gathered by Larry O'Gorman. And that is sailing straight over the bar. Larry O'Gorman has discarded the helmet. He now can see clearly, and definitely the goalposts are within his sights. Tony Pilkington. It's a good line cut. Well gathered by Rob Guiney, must be said, and a good clearance. Not very far. Michael Dignan is there. Cuts away from Larry O'Gorman. Hooked by Larry O'Gorman. Left behind and cleared almost. Well blocked. And it's Offaly. Billy Dooley giving it to Declan Pilkington, and that's a point. Well gathered by Larry Murphy, giving Brian Wheelahan plenty to think about. Good run by Murphy. And the finish again. But this time the referee has given a semi-penalty for a frontal charge. Damien Fitzhenry, he did it in the semi-final against Dublin. But this is the real test. Fitzhenry hits it! Goal for the county of Wexford! David Fitzgerald did it in a Munster final of '95. Damien Fitzhenry does it in the Leinster final of '96. We've got a whopping good final. Ball knocked down towards Rory McCarthy. Oh, that's a real tester. It's dropping and dropping. Tom Dempsey, is there a Wexford man there? There isn't. There is now. Martin Storey. Outside him is Larry Murphy. Storey sees what he wants to do and he puts it over the bar. from out at the bottom gets his first point in the Leinster final. And look at these Wexford people, and there's only, 21 minutes gone in the first half. The sides level in Croke Park. Martin Storey, who gets a knock on the head from Hubert Rigney. Falls nicely for Larry O'Gorman to Tom Dempsey. A shot which goes over the bar. Tom Dempsey's first point in the Leinster final. Made and created by Larry O'Gorman. Wexford 1-9, Offaly 1-8. Another great puck out by Liam Coughlin. Liam Dunn getting a hurley to it. Eamon Scallon. Oh, well hooked by Johnny Pilkington. Comes to Adrian Fenlon. Sends it up again towards Gary Laffin. Runs on. Here's a chance. Wexford's Rory McCarthy. Here's Tom Dempsey to his left. Rory! And he puts it over the bar. But it should have been a goal. And he should have passed it to Tom Dempsey.
Oh, I think an excellent chance of a goal there. Tom Dempsey was crying for that ball.
Great atmosphere in Croke Park. Picked up by Declan Pilkington. Sean Flood chasing, harassing, hooking. Over towards Joe Dooley. Pulled on. Oh, superb by Johnny Pilkington. The second of the afternoon. Wexford lead by just 1 point. Shane McGuckian giving a loose ball to Martin Storey. He salutes the Wexford crowd with a clenched fist. He does it again for the camera, and Wexford starts the way they finished. 2 points between the teams. Liam Dunn. Good centre-back play. Knocked down for Rory McCarthy, knocked away by Kevin Martin. Loose ball comes to Adrian Fenlon. And Fenlon is scooping it sufficiently enough, not quite. Liam Coughlin. Not a good clearance. Comes to Larry Murphy, who finishes the job second time round. Larry Murphy gets his first point of the Leinster final. And Wexford are certainly intent on meaning business. The atmosphere around Croke Park on all approach roads was unquestionably Wexford, Wexford, Wexford. And you get the feeling that it's not going to be the team's fault this time if they fail. Determination etched on Larry Murphy's face. Etched on some wonderful point taking by Larry Murphy from Clobon. Tears in the eyes of our Wexford men already. I warn you, Wexford, it's a long, long way to go. Well pulled on. Liam Dunn going back to gather it. It gets there ahead of Billy Dooley. Jarkush. Spot of bother here. Liam Dunn comes in to help him once more. Up towards Tom Dempsey and Shane McGuckian. Scooping it up. Almost shovel-like is Larry Murphy, who sends a ball straight over the crossbar. What a score. What a point. What a man. Larry Murphy. By God, they mean business in Croke Park, these Wexford lads. Adrian Fenlon hitting that sideline cut brilliantly, dropping it right in. Gary Laffin off the post. There's a scramble. It's there. Wexford have found the glory days. Gary Laffin got the touch, and all of Croke Park has come alive. Look at this, Wexford people. Look at this. The big man from Glenbarntown. No wonder you take off your hat, sir. Today could be your day. We continue on down at the other end. Joe Erity giving it to Michael Dignan. Oh, yes! Great goal! And Offaly now are the people From one end we have a goal, to the other end we have a goal, and Michael Dignan is the man who brings Offaly back into the match. This is the first goal as that ball came in. There was a bit of a scramble. Gary Laffin first hit the ball off the crossbar, and then it was scrambled through. In fact, it was Tom Dempsey.
It was Tom Dempsey, actually.
It was Tom Dempsey, actually, that scrambled it in. At the other end, Offaly came forward and responded like champions. What a
Joe
response.
Ersheet to Michael Dignan.
And Michael Dignan rattled it into the net. Into the middle. Oh, what wonderful fielding. Larry O'Gorman. Hubert Rigney. Stopped by Rory McCarthy. Back to Kevin Martin. Larry Murphy putting his head where nobody would be brave enough to do. Down to Tom Dempsey, sending it goal bound. Oh, what a magnificent point! Tom Dempsey! Wexford are on the verge of history. Can they hold on? Can the faithful county, the great county of Offaly, respond? Blocked by Larry Murphy. The Wexford players are playing inspirational stuff. Martin Storey looking for the goalposts and finding the goalposts. Answer that, Offaly, if you can. Croke Park belongs to Wexford, perhaps. 3 minutes left. Rod Guiney. Comes back to Tom Dempsey. Difficult angle, but not to Tom Dempsey. 1 goal and 4 points for Tom. The 19-year wait is over. They're rejoicing on the banks of Slaney. They're rejoicing in Croke Park. Martin Hanemy, Martin Storey, and another point for Wexford. There's no going home tonight from Croke Park. They have suffered long and far. They've suffered for years down in Wexford at the hands of the people from Kilkenny and Offaly. But now, unquestionably, it has to be Wexford. Johnny Pilkington trying for a last-minute chance and a last-minute point. 4 points for Johnny, but it's not enough for Offaly. Surely the referee won't allow too much for injury time. There's 36 minutes played. Larry Murphy trying to get it inside to Eamon Scallon, to Martin Storey, looking at the posts, and it's so easy now. There'll be bonfires in Wexford tonight. A most unusual scene here for a Leinster final. Crowd control is gone. Is there a last-minute flurry in Wexford to finish it up? Tom Dempsey taking his points. 1 goal and 5 points for Tom. What wonderful scenes in Croke Park. The whole scenario is a sea of purple and yellow. Look at this in Croke Park. The whole sideline, it's all over, surely. Wexford are Leinster champions. Such joy, such emotion. Wonderful, wonderful emotion. Overjoyed Wexford people. This is their day. It's taken a long, long time, and Liam Griffin has done a wonderful job with his county. That's Martin Storey, the captain of Wexford, lifts the Leinster trophy for the first time since 1977. Well done, Slaney Siders.
That was the moment for me of the whole year. I mean, people would say the All-Ireland and the homecoming and everything else, but it was being, what was it, 70 many years?
77 was the last.
77 was the last year, like, and to stand there, to walk up the steps and see Wexford people standing on Croke Park, looking up towards the hall and stand for a presentation to a Wexford person, It was an unbelievable moment for me. I mean, that was the moment that I realised that, God, this is brilliant, we have won something.
So, Wexford through to the All-Ireland semi-final after beating Kilkenny, Dublin and Offaly. Meanwhile, down in Munster, Limerick were conquering the big three there. There was optimism in Cork about the prospects of the hurling team under the so-called Dream Team management trio of Jimmy Barry Murphy, Tony O'Sullivan and Tom Cashman. Cork were defending a record of never having been beaten at Páirc Uí Chaoimh since the 1920s. Their opponents in the first round of the Munster Championship, Limerick. Cork led at half-time by 1 point thanks to a goal scored by Alan Brown. But Limerick were rampant in the second half, scoring 3 goals and 11 points. 2 goals from Podge Tobin. This was the second of them.
Down towards Tobin again. Getting inside once more. Jerkine hesitating, and that's enough. Tobin's second goal.
And 1 from Owen O'Neill.
Fergal Ryan. Poor striking again. Frankie Carroll by the setup. Gary Kirby. In it goes towards Podge Tobin. It's Owen O'Neill. His brother's just got off. And Limerick are well and truly in the next round of the Munster Championship.
Final score, 3 goals, 18 points to 1 goal and 8. And Cork's proud record in Páirc Uí Chaoimh was shattered. Limerick's next opponents were everybody's favourites from last year, Clare.
Rival counties, a derby match really, and the All-Ireland champions putting their title on the line against the team who believed that they should have been the champions back in 1994. Gary striking it, giving it lots of height, distance and accuracy.
Gary Kirby had a great game. He scored 1 goal and 7 points. His goal coming 8 minutes from half-time.
Towards Gary Kirby. Is he going to go for a goal? Gary Kirby hitting it and scoring.
Jamesy O'Connor for Clare was showing his paces.
Jamesy O'Connor 65 metres out looking for another. And yes, he's put it over the bar. 4 points for Jamesy O'Connor.
A 1 point lead at half-time for Limerick, but Clare took control in the second half with some fine points. These in particular from Eamon Taff and Fergal Dewey.
Into the corner there is Eamon Taff. Taff attracting Mike Nash across with him. Off balance, he strikes it. Lovely pose, and he puts it over the bar. Here's Fergie Dewey. 3 men after him. And that's a fine score.
Despite squandering many chances, Clare had a 3-point lead with 12 minutes left. Then 3 unanswered points from Limerick.
Oh, cross, here it comes. So that gives Limerick a bit more hope, and there's still some time left. Knocked away by Sean McMahon only as far as Gary Kirby. Quick look back, and Gary Kirby has put it over the bar. Has a yes. The minimum between them. We're in injury time. If Limerick get one more chance, or will it come downfield for Clare? There on Limerick, being urged on, Barry Foley, it's high, it's over the bar, it's a point by Barry Foley, his second point. What a match, absolutely wonderful.
The last minute of the game, it looked like a replay, but Kieran Carey had the ball in midfield.
Here comes Kieran Carey. Carey leading the charge of the Light Brigade. 45 metres out. He's a chance to score. He's put it high. He's put it over. The Limerick captain has scored a minute into injury time.
And with that memorable score, the All-Ireland champions had reached the end of their reign, and Limerick had reached their 3rd successive Munster final. Tipperary had, by comparison, an easier draw in the Munster Championship. First up were Waterford, who gave a good account of themselves, scoring 1 goal and 11 points.
It's Johnny Brenner. He hits it well, it's dropping in, it's dropping so well, it's gone over the bar.
But Tip's strength saw them through, with fine performances from Nicky English, Colin Bonner and debutant corner forward Liam Cahill.
This is a ball for Nicky English. Damien Byrne, he'll have to be very alert to keep Nicky under control. As every time he touches it, he's able to find the goalposts. Brought down by Fergal Hartley. Liam McGrath still battling his way in to John Lahey. Across, and there's a goal. Liam Cahill has scored the goal.
Tipperary then went on to book their provincial final place with a comfortable 24 points win over Kerry. There was a real buzz in Limerick in the run-up to the game. Training sessions were well attended and autographs eagerly sought. A fabulous atmosphere on the big day, 40,000 people watching in a first half that belonged to Tipperary. They went 4 points ahead after this Liam Cahill goal.
It's come well by Declan Ryan. Support from Cahill, a goal here. He's buried it. Liam Cahill.
14 minutes gone and Michael Cleary on the ball and on the target to make the lead 7 points.
That's come straight to Michael Cleary and he punishes it. Michael Cleary with a second point.
And this Liam Cahill point gave Tipperary a 10-point lead at half-time. Limerick had scored only 4 times in that first half and all of them came from Gary Kirby. In the second half, a remarkable Limerick comeback. This Sean O'Neill point left 9 points between them. After Kieran Carey scored, the gap was down to 6 points.
It comes to Kieran Carey. He'll go for the score from here. Can he make it? The answer, yes.
Gary Kirby converted a free. Now only 4 points between them. And the crowd were now sensing that anything was possible. 8 minutes to go in the game and TJ Ryan had an opportunity to level the scores.
Will this be the equaliser? It will! And the sides are level.
Tipperary managed to regain a 2-point lead, so it looked like Limerick's fight back was to be in vain. But inspirational Gary Kirby had a free, scored it, and that left just one between them with 1 minute left.
Who gets it? It's Mike Galligan, stopped by 3 or 4 Tipperary players. Out it comes Foley, out as far as Frankie Carroll, one sub to another. Can Frankie with the hero here? He can! He's put it over the bar! And Limerick fans salute that point by Frankie Carroll.
And thus, after one of the greatest Munster hurling finals of all time, the two teams would have to do it all again in a week. Gary Kirby, Limerick's scorer-in-chief, was under medical care in the week of the replay, suffering from severe headaches. However, on the big day, he decided he would play. They were level, the two teams, after 12 minutes, 2 points each, when enter Declan Ryan.
In towards Declan Ryan, the marking poor at times for the Limerick backs. And that's just enough to allow Declan Ryan in for his second point of the day.
15 minutes played and Limerick on the goal trail.
He runs on towards Owen O'Neill, almost over in his stride, has it now, kicks it and scores! A goal for Limerick, for Owen O'Neill.
Mainly due to Michael Cleary, Tipperary were on top again. This was the third of 3 points to make them level. Liam Cahill had a good point to put Tipperary back in front again. Then 2 Michael Cleary points from frees left a goal between them, and Frankie Carroll was on the scene.
Will he opt to lob this one in? He's giving it everything. Right inside, it's a goal! Frankie Carroll got the stick to it.
Half-time, Limerick 2 goals and 3 points, Tipperary 9 points. Gary Kirby at the start of the second half had a point, his only score of the game. But Limerick had the nose for the goals, and here was TJ Ryan.
Runs on and Ryan hits the post, and the second time he scoops it in.
Tipperary got a point back, but Limerick stayed on the scent of goals. Owen O'Neill again.
Huge one down towards Frankie Carroll. Runs on to Owen O'Neill, and there is another one! The dancing feet of Owen O'Neill.
Tipperary began to try and put a recovery together, but when Kieran Carey and Barry Foley knocked the ball over the bar, it was all over bar the shouting, and plenty of that from the Limerick fans. The final score, Limerick 4 goals and 7 points, that's 19. Tipperary 16 points, a 3-point margin, and Limerick through to the All-Ireland semi-final.